As somebody who has been a hardcore fan of this sport for over 20 years, I would have to say that once you get below featherweight, most of your fans, and I'm talking guys who take a daily interest in this sport, they're not too fussed about what happens in those lower weights. They start to interpret the action as insignificant. These guys are just too small. It's like watching little high school kids try and fight, right? The ones in the first few years. Perhaps on a subconscious level, they think, actually, I could take these guys. I could literally beat them up. I think that's part of the big turnoff. One of the big allures of the heavyweight division, of course, on a basic level is that, look, this is the guy, or these are the guys who can beat everybody else up. When you look at the little mighty mites of the ring, you think, well, you know, fair play the fighters. I'm not going to disrespect them, but, you know, it's just not that impressive. But the real shame that happens is that when you get divisions that are genuinely white hot, case in point, super flyweight, only 115 pounds. This for me has been the best division in boxing for quite a while. You've had a handful of basically pound for pound fighters. And most of the time, the meaningful fights happen. That is exactly what you want from every division. Super flyweight really brought into the light with HBO and Roman Gonzalez. It's still in tremendous health. And that rematch we had earlier this year between Roman Gonzalez and Juan Francisco Estrada was just a testament to the quality, to the skill set, to the pedigree at 115 pounds. It really was a tremendous fight over the full distance. The skeptics would say, well, hey, look, no knockout. There wasn't even any knockdowns. The difference is, though, that was nothing to do with a lack of punching power. Look at Estrada's record. Better yet, look at Gonzalez's record. He has stopped the vast majority of his opponents from minimum weight to super fly. It's just you're looking at two beautifully even operators who had already fought before. Rematch was loaded with significance. Both great defensively, offensively, so well-rounded. You just saw two guys at the top of their game who didn't want to give an inch. Yes, I certainly understand the pick for the rubber match between Fury and Wilder. It was a lot of fun. It was, certainly compared to Chocolatito and Estrada, a clash of the titans. What's not to like for the average fan with two big guys wailing away at each other with real heavy bombs? It kind of reminds me, though, of something I think Thomas Hauser once wrote about how the wide arc punches of the heavyweights is easier to follow for the casual fan. The narrative is more simple. But that usually comes with a price, and in this case, skill. That fight is so ugly to watch. The Fury wasn't at his best, as most people have conceded. He just went in there with the mindset of like, right, let's rough you up. Forget the cool feint I was doing in the rematch. Let's just go for it and I'll have you. And yeah, he got floored. But after that, it was pretty one-sided. With a technically deficient and exhausted Wilder just soaking up a beating. That wasn't as even or as compelling for me as Chocolatito Estrada. And on the point of skill, Gonzalez and Estrada are in a different universe to Wilder and certainly the Fury of that third fight. Roman Gonzalez, generally a come-forward fighter, has this amazing knack of knowing when to block body shots. You'll just see the forearm drop to the belly, boom, he catches it, it's back up to the regular guard. Back to applying that incessant pressure. And then you've got Estrada trying to deal with this little Rubik's Cube. I remember in the 7th round, he throws a right hand that appears to be going to the body. Gonzalez reacts, drops the forearm to the belly, and then Estrada, mid-trajectory, changes the punch to the head. And it's just those little dummies and fakes that you don't always get in the higher weight divisions. But you'd also be silly for thinking there was no drama. Look at that grandstand finish by Gonzalez. The guy who'd been blasted by Rungvisai, who'd been out with a knee injury, loads of inactivity. He's at an age where you shouldn't be able to perform at this weight anymore. Not after all the wars he's been through. And then he just absolutely pours it on like he's a mini Rocky Marciano. And probably deserves to get the decision. But it's probably a little bit hard done by with those scorecards. Yes, we have had some pretty good fights this year. Probably more disappointments, but nonetheless some good fights. Lopez and Gambosis. Probably worth the wait in the end. Not so much for Lopez, who fought like an idiot. Though I haven't seen it, Fulton Figueroa sounded like a really compelling 12-round scrap. A lot of people are going to say Fury and Wilder deserves it. For me, the skill level was too damn low. Chocolatito and Estrada, a rematch we never thought would happen. In weight divisions so low, when the hell do you have fights 8 years apart? But it happened. And you know what? Better yet, there's probably going to be a rubber match early 2022. What's your opinion? What's your favourite fight? Have I not even mentioned it? Do you even bother to watch those lower weight divisions? What was the best fight of 2021?